The Driving While Awesome podcast is recorded live to SD card at the Beeline Motor Club in Santa Cruz, California.
Simmer down now.
Simmer down now.
Simmer down now.
Oh, that'd be a good one right there. Simmer down now.
Simmer down
It's a
now.
caddy.
Do you have all your teeth? No? Simmering. Is that it? Do you still wear bell bottoms? Simmering.
I like it.
Get in there. You're looking for.
I did want to mention our orientation here. Speaking of orgies, we're sitting in a different way.
Speaking of orgies.
Yeah.
Speaking of orgies,
Welcome to Driving While Awesome, part of the Hagerty Podcast Network. My name is Warren.
I am Lane.
And I'm Art.
Have you guys been watching the Woodstock 99 doc?
Nope. I watched the one like last year,
Okay.
but I haven't watched this new one.
It tripped me out. I forgot there was a 94 and a 99.
Yeah.
94 was the muddy one.
94 is kind of forgot about because 99 was so effed up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one that they totally blew it, right?
So this one is, I just watched the first episode last
It's
night.
not like an old military base.
Yeah. And they show the performance for night one. It's Korn, followed by Bush, which is a bad comment. It should be the opposite, other way around. But
Work your way up to it.
they had all these like tough guy bands, you know, it's Korn,
Limp Bizkit was the one that like incited
Bizkit,
riots and
Kid Rock, Rage Against the Machine. You know, it's like
No Slipknot?
I don't think Slipknot, but anyways, Korn. They show when they came out and the beat drops, the crowd it's insane. I mean, 200,000 people like all jumping. It's crazy, super crazy. That was cool. It gets wild though.
I remember you guys were talking about it camping or something, you and Dante or something, and you guys were like, "Oh man, it looked like miserable." Dude.
I never said I wanted.
Someone said, "Oh, I wish I would have been there so fast."
Oh, I think he was talking about it like he watched it and he was saying that the documentary was like so insane.
But I swear people were like talking. You guys were talking about, or someone was talking about it like it was rad or something.
No, that's not my scene at all. Did you get that video I sent you, or I sent it to? I thought I sent it to you or Camping While Awesome. It was Burning Man. There's two videos. One was they had this like, you know those like big ass fans that you see at like restaurants and stuff. They're huge, like.
Like an extractor fan, or like at a dyno,
No, it's like a big fan for like industrial spaces and restaurants and stuff. They're really nice, like huge fan. The brand name is Big Ass Fans.
Yeah, I know the
big ass fans. I have seen. You're talking about the ceiling fan.
Ceiling fan.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was like a big ass fan that had crazy light installation on each blade over people really low as they were laying down looking at it, like set to music.
I didn't see that. That sounds awesome. Though.
And then the other one was just a straight dust storm and people sleeping in it like in goggles, just blasted.
Oh God, so bad.
Thinking of you, dude.
Nice.
It was like all time. Greatest.
And then
hits.
people go have orgies. Well, after they're all dusted.
A dusty.
It gets chalky in there.
Does not sound good.
Dusty orgy. That's really what you're looking for.
I did want to mention our orientation here. Speaking of orgies, we're sitting in a different way.
Speaking of orgies.
Yeah.
Speaking of orgies, I have my foot between Art's legs right now.
And our orientation is skewed. It's different today.
We're trying to tighten it up.
Yeah, I actually like this a lot better already.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think even you could like angle this way a little bit and like you could and you'd still be.
Yeah, I just like the weird thing is the camera's on that way, so it's like weird if we're both facing you.
It would be like we would both be like side profile. But I hear you.
But we are a lot more intimate.
Not only
Closer.
that, I don't know how I didn't look at the angle here, but we have a new car behind us.
Oh yeah, you can kind of see it.
The 2-post lift is installed here at Beeline West.
Beeline Motor Club.
And we have Racing Ali's Escort up there, Mark 1 Escort.
Mexico.
What year is that? Like a 70?
97,
69, 71?
I would say like 72,
okay,
71.
Sure.
I don't know.
These cars, I mean, it's amazing how simple they are. There's so little to them.
Basic car. But this one's all been like hooniganed out.
Yeah, it has a turbocharged and a sequential gearbox.
Is it sequential or really? Or is it a crash box?
What is the difference?
Is it an H pattern or is it
like a sequential?
Oh, okay, so it's forward back.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Which makes it hard to drive around the street.
Grabbing gears.
And it has 400 and something horsepower.
It's a twin cam. Like, isn't it from Mountain? Like they built the engine for him?
I don't think so. I don't know who built it, but it's powerful.
And it's got a really beefy suspension now.
Yeah.
And a really beefy drive shaft.
So it's here for something. I don't know.
Exactly. So it has like Nick's hooking up like the flat shift feature.
Oh,
I guess the electronics aren't hooked up right now. So you can flat shift it. Right now, I don't know. But yeah.
Okay.
I drove it when it had the normal transmission. The normal transmission was pretty good. Engine was way too powerful, and it had the kind of stockish rear end setup, rear suspension, which is like horrible, and it flops all over the road, and it was pretty scary to drive. So he tidied that up.
And this one
he
came
put
on
the
our
suspension.
Our rally. It had an issue. I can't remember exactly.
Dude, it was just a distributor cap, I believe.
That's right. Yeah.
And then he
fail.
couldn't. I forget if we knew what the engine was.
He crossed it to something obscure, and then they found a match somewhere up north, and then he was able to continue a little bit.
Cosworth Vega.
It was
I think
something
he was
like that.
able to finish.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
But so hopefully it'll be back on the road here,
And so hopefully it gets put to good use. 'Cause
Ripping around.
all that stuff. The
Yeah, it
sequential and all
runs
that.
right now. I mean,
yeah,
but it just needs a little tidying up.
little love, huh?
Yeah, Marcus Fry Racing did all the swap, the tranny, and did the whole rear end and boxed it all in, all the work. And then now Nick at Beeline Motor Club is gonna finish up all the electrical and kind of dial it in a little better.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a hill climb car, right? That's really kind of that setup. I mean,
Yeah,
that suspension travel.
a tarmac hill climb.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, at least with those tires.
Right. And yeah, so anyways, if you can see it. If you can't, go to Racing Ollie's Instagram page and you'll see plenty of it. You guys want to do a couple questions?
Let's do this.
Some stuff out there. Let's see.
I do have a question. Ali asked.
Oh yeah.
He said, "What exhaust is best? What's the best exhaust setup?" I believe is what he said. And he asked. He said, "Podcast question: What is the best exhaust exit type? Side, dual, quad, Bozozuko?"
DTM tips. Remember those?
Yikes. I think for race car, it seems like side exit is pretty cool. In front of the rear tire, something like that.
I hate lake pipes.
Yeah, I do too.
I think they're disgusting.
Especially when the caps are on them, they look just so like an afterthought, right?
Like AC Cobras with the lake pipes and the big old like the heat shield. So gross to me.
That's so
I'd
funny.
way rather have just like a clean exhaust out the back.
What do you think of
Or a little, like you said, a little exhaust out in front of the rear tire looks pretty good.
what do you think of BMW center dual centers?
That's cool.
Like,
like
right in the middle.
Clean, like
very clean.
On an E12.
Yeah.
They're not centered though.
Well, like a 6 Series is, isn't it?
Isn't it like a little to the right
I can't remember.
or
now.
one way?
Picturing
I
it
swear
centered.
it's not centered.
Maybe not, but I'm picturing it centered, but I can't verify.
I always loved like 911 like RS and stuff
Center.
where they did the center duals.
Yeah, a little space between them.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I think race car side exit, I don't think it's great for a street car because of the back pressure. You can get exhaust into the cabin pretty easily.
And people standing next
And
to it.
people for sure.
You're gonna burn them.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
I mean, I like just a nice like dual exhaust out the rear, symmetrical.
With space.
Yeah, with space.
You know which one I don't like at all, and this is pretty common in modern cars, and GTIs have it, is duals, but little duals, and they're really far apart.
Oh,
They're on either side. It just looks weird. It looks kind of scrawny, and that's a really common design now. Yeah, I mean center exit is hard to
center.
beat.
Yeah, I like center.
Yeah, it's especially twin.
Yeah, twin center exit, whether it's 911, Mini Cooper S, BMW, like it's got a nice purposeful.
I had a
balanced
2002 with an Anza like twin tip in the middle. That was pretty cool.
Yep.
Side exit. I'm thinking of that the Mazda 787, right? That or was it the 767? Like, and that was a super rad one too because it wasn't just a pipe; it was like integrated into the bodywork. So like, it was like flush, but then it had the holes, and it was like. The pipe went right up to it, and around it had like Kevlar, like just like protecting it. It's so rad.
That's rad.
Like, that was really cool. Like that was a good integration, right? Where it's like into the body.
Some of the muscle car guys will do like the rear corners, like triangular kind of.
Yeah,
I don't think that looks very good.
My Tundra is like that. It's a stock like factory TRD exhaust. It comes out the corners down.
Yeah,
it's not how I would want it,
it's down. Right?
It is down.
It's hidden.
Kind of. Yeah, the pipes, the tailpipe sticks out and it says TRD on it. But
like my 911 or the 80s 911s are pretty far to the left. And then if you get the dual setup, it is pretty spread out, and I really love that.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I've never been a big fan of E30s because they have this, it's like an offset. So it's to the left driver's side, and then it's also the pipes come out and then immediately have an angle. They're not straight out of the muffler.
They don't go straight with the
which
car.
Is a strange choice. That's just the way they are. And it's never been like a great design, in my opinion. And then the E36 is straight. Like it comes out of the muffler straight. It's
nice.
Pipes. So I don't know. What is he trying to do? Exhaust on his Tesla or what?
It's a good question.
Exhaust speakers?
What does this have? Oh, it's just
one big old
can with a big old tip coming out. Yeah. Pretty straightforward.
So questions from Instagram here. Ben Roget asks, would you rather daily drive an ambulance, police car, or fire truck? Which model would you prefer? This is kind of like
police car all day, right?
A fire truck? Dude, that's
fire
insane.
Truck would be horrible.
I mean, there are some perks though, right? You can park it anywhere. Like you don't have to really worry about
not really. It's huge.
But I mean, like you can just put on your lights and
what
walk
if
out.
it was like the F-350 fire truck, like the Cal Fire, truck?
Oh, you're talking about like a fire road.
Almost like a PG&E truck.
I feel like that's cheating, but even
it's still a fire truck.
Yeah.
Or what if it was a teeny tiny fire truck from Japan?
Oh, okay, truck.
I hate police cars. I hate people who drive old police cars.
You have to say police car though.
I hate it.
Okay, how about a 5.0 Mustang?
It's better. How about a S70?
S70 Volvo. See, my brother posted that one the other day.
San Luis Obispo.
That's the San Luis Obispo ones that I would always see.
I think I've seen that one around at other car shows of some kind. Unless there's other ones around. But
I would see him on the road when I went there in college.
It's the trippiest thing. Volvo S70 police cars, people. Yeah. These existed.
It's bizarre. Yeah.
What about this is a little cheater mode. Sprinter ambulance.
I want Charger CHP. Charger CHP. Like as a daily, like it's like, I mean, you can mob it. It's got power. It's got ground clearance. Like you just do whatever the hell you want. Doesn't matter.
Cow bashers.
I mean, dude, there's actually a lot of cop cars, like all the Miami stuff, like the ex-drug dealer cars that they would
well, that's rad. Yeah,
that's
turn into cop cars. And
the Dutch 911.
Oh, how about all the Porsches? Yeah,
I think he's talking like boring stuff.
Well, he just said police car.
I wouldn't want an Explorer. Like I feel like that would drive poorly and like be crashy and not a nice car.
They would all be crappy inside too. It'd be stripped down interiors and vinyl seats,
but you got all that
or equivalent.
Yeah, the Charger is probably the best.
Yeah, it's probably cloth seats, somewhat comfortable.
Well, and around here we had a couple Z28 Camaros that were on 9.
Yeah, we had on Highway 17.
Mid 2000s,
like the dual headlight ones,
the catfish grill.
Yeah.
Okay, but like the sealed headlight, the one that's got
like 98.
Yeah.
98, 99.
I'd still take like a modern Charger over that. I think
so too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Those things. Yeah.
But I think if it was modern, if it was talking like current, I think you'd have to go Charger.
Yeah. They have Blazers. I've seen. Have you guys seen the Ram pickups with like shell around? There's also like there's a CHP.
Those are only for semi truck enforcement.
Oh, really?
Is that right?
That's what they claim.
But unless you're doing something stupid, I bet. Yeah. So
those are mainly on Highway 5.
We just went CHP, but I mean, there's so many cop cars, right? Like there's so
many bad ones. What about the?
There's that Chevy Caprice. It's basically like an SS. It's rear wheel drive.
Exactly.
V8.
Yeah. It's like a Holden, right?
They're really trippy cars. Yeah. That's an interesting one. I mean, V8 rear wheel drive.
Yeah.
But what is the Charger? It's
V8 rear wheel drive.
It's not the V6 or anything.
No.
Yeah.
Police Interceptor.
Yeah.
And they have the good like wheel and tire packages. That is kind of cool.
Yes. Rensberger is asking how was Detroit Radwood. We did recap it. It'll come out tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, it's weird being this far behind, right?
Yeah, exactly. Bobby Reed with the cars.
Was Mike there, Rensberger?
I don't know.
No, he said in advance that he wasn't going to make it. He reached out.
He says DWA started as a Lemons team, but when was the last time you were on track? Do you expect to be able to make time for track events in the near future?
Gosh. Who asked this?
This is Bobby Reed.
I don't expect to make time anytime soon. And last time I was on track was in that Lexus LC 500s.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that was
3 years ago.
Shit, it's been that long.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
3.5 years ago.
I would love nothing more than to have time to be on a Lemons team or a Lucky Dog Racing or Chump Car or whatever. But
it's called Champ Car now, right?
Yeah, I think it is Champ Car.
I saw Travis Tucker is doing it.
Yeah, I did see that too.
Yeah, that's rad. And it's not as like clowny, right?
No,
it's like
no,
the cars are actually usable.
Exactly, yeah. It's a lot of work, and it ends up being like 2 people on your team of however many people do 90% of the work.
Yep.
And one person does like 50%. So yeah, you have to have like a good team.
And I think with Lemons, it was hard. It was hard for me because we put all this money and time into like something that was just really beat up and you didn't really care about. I think Champ Car, you would have a little more pride in your race car. I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just felt a little bit like it was like a throwaway thing. And then when you didn't get a chance to run it, it was such a bummer.
Well, the other thing too is we were at an event, I think it was Sonoma Raceway when we did Lemons or something. And I watched the Lemons race go by and it was a traffic jam. There was like 100 cars on track. I'm not even joking. And it would look pretty tough. And I think that the Champ Car series, there's less people than Lemons, and it's I
don't know though. There's a bunch of different classes.
Maybe it's gotten more.
So they have like
out.
They'll have like Caymans on track with NA Miatas, and they're like 3 or 4 different classes.
Yeah, that's almost too serious for me. I don't really want to be trying to.
I think like SVRA would be rad, something like that. Like
what's SVRA?
Well, where you have something that's actually a little more purpose built, without the clowny bullshit, but it's not like super expensive, and it's like NA Miata, it's like not quite spec Miata, but you could do stuff like that. But I mean,
I was at Laguna and saw Lucky Dog. Lucky Dog Racing.
That's what Randy Popes does.
But it was a really small group of. It was a really tiny group of cars.
That's good, right? Yeah, that's rad.
I mean,
although like Lemons, there's attrition, right? So like the first like couple hours, you just have to chill out, and just kind of be aware and like don't go too nuts. And then by the end of the day, it's like mostly
that is down
true.
To like I remember cars. Like the last race we did that we had fun at was at Thunderhill, and day 2, like the afternoon or like near the end of the race, there was maybe a quarter of the cars.
Yeah, that's pretty typical. Yeah, the last time I raced in Lemons was like maybe 2017. That might have been the last time I drove. Yeah, and I mean, and on track, probably the Lexus thing as well. We haven't really done anything else.
I don't think you did in 2017.
Yeah, when was it?
You were already podcasting with us then. You didn't.
You've never raced.
I drove.
You were podcasting with us since like 2015, probably.
I posted,
and you haven't done Lemons since we podcasted together.
That's a good point. Shit, so it's way further back than that. Because the reason that I know it was not. Yeah, it was definitely after 2014 because I had left GoPro at that point, and they basically called on me to drive.
It must have been like right before you joined.
Yeah, I remember posting a picture. I need to look back, but it's been fucking almost like 8 years or something. Yeah. So that's been the longest time. Then on track was probably the Lexus thing as well, and then time to dedicate for that. No,
you have a lot of time.
Absolutely not. I think this is something I didn't even mention to you guys, but our friend Neil booked a few spots at the kart track at Sonoma, and it was going to be a racing school. And he just assigned me a spot, and he's like, "Dude, all right, we're going Tuesday, like all day." And I'm like, "Dude, no, like I can't just fucking leave, like just for like 3 days notice, like go race all day when I have like shit to do."
You should.
And and today would have been feasible.
Shipper carts, or
yeah, up at Sonoma, and I'm like, God damn it! And so like these guys are out there, but I said, let's plan ahead, let's lock shit in advance, and I want to do an ice racing school, or do some snow shit. So I'll keep you guys in the loop on that.
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
And like let's If we can just commit to something like that,
we have to do rally again. We have to do
Dirtfish.
We have to do Dirtfish. He's doing Rally Ready in October.
Bobby Roode of the cars.
He did Dirtfish?
Well, he's up there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing he's done it.
We saw him at Tacoma.
Yeah.
To go on the shifter cart thing, we got a shifter cart at my work.
Oh, nice.
And we put an electric engine, motor in it. It's 30 horsepower or 33 horsepower, 75 pound-feet of torque.
Dang.
Yeah.
Did you write it?
No, I didn't write it yet. I definitely don't fit right now. Like 2 people that I work with fit right now.
Yeah.
It was a kid's like championship racing cart.
Yeah. Even the adult ones.
Fit.
Dude,
the adult ones are super tight. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was the most fun racing I had because it was arrive and drive. You just showed up and the carts were ready and everyone had the same cart basically. And it was very competitive and fun and easy. But all the tracks have disappeared. So
things like this low to the ground.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Dude, off the ground.
It was fun watching like at autocrosses. Occasionally people would bring their shifter carts out when they were tuning them.
Yeah.
And
I was offered a drive in one. This guy at Marina had one, and I told him that I had been racing him. He's like, "Oh, if you want to try it, go for it." And I was like too intimidated because he would like kind of skip across because it's so low.
No suspension too.
So you'd skip across and like not drift, but I mean the whole thing was flexing. And if you hit one of those expansion joints where the 2 pads of concrete met like just wrong, you'd flip. And that happened to one car. I watched a Carmen Gia do that.
Yeah.
Where he just like slid and he hit the tires perfectly square on that and ended up on his roof.
Yeah, 2002 to that.
I'm like, God, dude, I'm not ready for that.
Yeah,
but he always set the fastest lap.
yours too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I say, that they always got the fast. I mean, it was like absurd. It was like a fucking cartoon, like how fast they are.
It really
like
was.
compared to anything else. They have so much grip and they don't weigh anything.
Incredible.
So,
Yeah. Super
it's so fun. Yeah. I mean, everyone that I know that's our age that has a cart though, it's just sitting there super fucking dusty. Like
I just looked on Craigslist like yesterday for whatever reason. I was looking, something popped up and it made me think, I'm like, oh, I'll just look up carts on Craigslist. And there's such rad stuff for $2,000. I mean, it gets you like, and my buddy Daniel Hood had one. He was a sprint car racer, but he had a shifter cart and we took it up into the Santa Cruz Mountains on public roads for like a long afternoon.
I remember that name.
Super sketchy, but that was good times.
Yeah, we put this motor in this cart last week. Took like probably an hour and a half to put it in.
Wow. Where do the batteries live?
On the, left side, and then the motor's on the right side with the chain.
Yeah,
the sprocket and the chain.
How long do you think it'll last between charges?
I don't know, but I will say we got it running, and like 2 people went on a little run around Microsoft campus, came back, and then just sat it. Like if we were kids and we did that, we would be like time trialing for
you would just
all
use
day
it
long. Until it ran out, and
gone.
then the next day you'd wake up early to do it. It would be I don't know.
It would help if everyone could sit in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Noye Classics. That was really close. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
That was like he kind of punched it with his hand and then grabbed it.
It was a thumb like this. So that it was less close than you think, and this is for the viewers or listeners.
You can rewind.
Listeners have been asking. Yeah, the listeners have been asking, when am I going to spill a beer? It hasn't happened yet. Is this the 8th episode in since we started doing the video?
Sounds about right. But you did spill a beer in Detroit.
I didn't spill a beer. It was an empty glass with ice in it, and it was it fell over and it did crack. It broke on the table at a bar.
Your excuse. You didn't spill a beer,
but it was not a beer on the podcast.
That is true. That is true.
Or a beer at all.
That's right. That's right. All right. Noye Classics says, Teal, can you get a new Instagram name? It just doesn't flow.
Noye Classics.
What should be his name?
Works for me. I don't know.
Okay. You're in charge of creating and starring in a car commercial. Congrats. Unfortunately, the car is a Cadillac Cimarron. What does your commercial look like, and what's your tagline?
So this is not Zig. This is not a Catera. This is like the little
earlier one.
This is the worst Cadillac ever built.
Cimarron before Cimarron. I mean, sorry, Catera before Catera.
Yeah, front wheel drive.
Catera was the caddy that zigs.
Opel.
You guys remember?
It was an Opel-based car, and it was actually well styled. And
speaking of, have you
fine.
guys seen the new Hyundai that was released today? The electric car that looks like a 19. It looks like a Chrysler, like an 80s Chrysler.
Oh, what?
And it's electric.
Wait a minute.
And
You're
it's like a
talking
new show car that they brought out.
No, they officially. Show car. Yeah, it's been around for a little while, right? It's like a boxy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's based on their original luxury sedan. What the hell was that thing called?
It's wild look. I mean, it is.
It's got the crazy headlights, right? The little
junky
cube
as hell looking. Yeah.
LED things.
It's got like little.
They look like
cubes.
light brights.
Light brights, kind of. But
you
square
saw
light
it
brights.
too, Warren?
Well, no, they're using those same lights on the rally car thing that they're trying to, the hatchback crazy rally car, that concept car that just came out like a month ago.
Oh yeah,
that
that
everyone's
thing's
like
cool.
Super down with.
So this one is that.
Yeah, that thing's been around for a little while.
Whoa, I have not seen that.
And look at. I mean, it just looks like an.
Pretty down.
Check out the interior.
Yeah, really down. I love it.
Warren or Lane's like, I hate it.
I love it.
Well, look at details like that.
Yeah, I don't like the chrome or whatever that is, but it looks like God, we had one of those at a Radwood. What?
It was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
It was whatever that thing was called.
And it was a JDM car.
It was a KDM car.
Oh.
It was a Korean car.
Thank you.
Actually, wait a minute. No, it was a Korean car, but it was I think it was
a
it was
Sapporo?
in Canada.
Is it a Sapporo or something?
No, but it was in Canada. It was a Canadian car that Myron Vernus imported. He bought it in Canada, but it was actually not a KDM car. It was sold in Canada.
It was a trippy Canadian only market Hyundai, like Acura competitor.
It was newer though, right? It wasn't. Like
No, it was like
mid.
It was like an 89 maybe.
Like an
Yeah, it was like a 90. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that's kind of like an.
It
80.
was
sort of like that.
model.
Yeah,
I
sure.
can't
It was
remember what
very
it's called,
similar to
but
that.
it's like that model.
We'll check it. All right, so Cadillac Cimarron. It's simmering in your heart, but a caddy on the road.
A caddy on the road. What is a Cimarron? I don't know what a Cimarron is.
It looks like a Chevy Cavalier.
No,
No,
what
you're
is
saying the word.
What does that mean?
It's a
I think
it's like a
it's-
Camry. Or a
It's like a Camry.
Prius.
I think it doesn't mean anything.
No, I'm just thinking because you said it's a Cimarron in your heart.
Like-
so I was picturing
Well, like
what is-
simmering.
Simmering.
simmer down now.
Simmer down
Simmer
now.
down.
Simmer down now.
Oh, that'd be a good one right there. Simmer down now.
Simmer down
It's a
now.
caddy.
Simmer down now. It's a.
How about Cimarron? You get a cinnamon bun with every order.
I don't like it.
Okay.
That's very like crazy people.
Yeah.
Buy this car and you get a free plant.
Dude, BMW is giving out succulents at their electric car display at Radwood in
That's
Detroit.
stupid.
They had a whole like rack of little succulents that you could come and get.
By the way, M2 worst
Is that
looking
real,
car
dude?
ever.
Is that
I
real?
swear, if that's
It's
real,
definitely real.
Like I think it is. That
Definitely
rear
real.
end, those little like the cubes coming
But are
out
you
the corners.
surprised at all after
How
the
about
car we drove?
But how about the front too? They're like, we're just gonna like
Squared
square
off?
it off and look at all like, oh god.
And when they compared it side by side to the nice current M2,
Yeah.
it is so good looking and perfect in a lot of ways. And then that thing,
It is so bad. Like, how is that?
I'm not surprised at all. After that 235 whatever thing we drove, 240.
I know, but this is like taking it even a step.
It's taking it a step
I'm
further.
not
Literally
surprised.
further. They're stretching it from like
Yeah.
it's like,
Like
a chameleon.
in no way
right?
can I say this is like you're like no you like it's like you took it and you're like hey trace this like 4-year-old kid.
Yeah. I'm not surprised at all. It's a completely.
I don't have a good commercial. Sorry, Warren had some great ideas. Caddy, and then I have a guy next to it, and it says Daddy.
How about
And he's like,
how about we could do like
or I guess I would be the daddy. It's like
Or what
Caddy, and then I'm like, it's like Daddy.
What about where's the caddy? Where's the is that a caddy? Where's the caddy?
it's not bad. How about
Even you can afford one of these.
Hey, this shit box, anyone can.
yeah, it's like Caddy. We tried to go up market for a while, and now it's rich guy, poor guy.
But we did have one of those too. We had like the nicest one in the world at Philly. Remember? It was way
Cimarron?
on the lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like pristine Cimarron with mud flaps,
And it was dark burgundy on burgundy. It
it was
like
pristine. Yeah, velvet interior,
the nicest one
velour,
ever.
whatever. Yeah.
I mean, you can just say this one's for the poors or something.
yeah. Yeah. Do you have all your teeth? No, Cimarron. Is that it? Yeah. Do you still wear bell bottoms? Cimarron.
I like it.
Get in there. After Hours Hobbyist says, what would you consider the most underrated sports car of the 90s and why? This is a very good question.
It's only good if we have an answer.
Sports car. I know. Well, what do you think about the Integra GSR?
Never driven one.
Dang, that's like very underrated. And where? I mean, that's like one of the most modified, most popular cars ever.
I know, but I feel like as a out of the box package, it was everyone was Type R. It was kind of this middle ground. I'm just spitballing here. You can poke holes in it all you want.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's a tough one. If it wasn't sports car, I would say something like a Vanagon, which ended in 92.
That's a underrated sports car.
If it wasn't a sports car, I'm not sure if you heard my first part of that.
I did.
Isn't there like 17 shops in town that specifically modify those and like work on them? That is like the most.
I'm waiting for your idea.
Hey, I'm shooting yours down.
Art's like the girlfriend who's like, where are we going to eat? You say 5 places, and they're like, I hate that stuff.
She's like, I'm good with whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm whittling down with you. See,
Let's hear one idea.
Salad, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. What do I have?
90s sports car.
Because I went through. I mean, if you go through
996.
If you go through, BMW, there's not much underrated there. Mercedes-Benz sports cars, did they even do them?
No.
Porsche, there's nothing underrated. All those are like rated well.
Yeah.
I know.
And so then you get into the obscure stuff like the Isuzus and the Mitsubishis and
not underrated. And then you get into like Japanese stuff that's good and probably pretty rated.
Yeah.
And the only reason it's underrated is maybe because they just made so few of them. Like I'm thinking of the 323 GTX or something like that, right? Like a really cool, advanced car.
Right.
Turbocharged, dual overhead cam, all-wheel drive.
Though it's like rated in
But
the
it's
appropriate way.
What year were those?
Like early 90s.
92-ish. What about
And they made them later too. Like they made the round body style too, but we didn't get those.
What about anything Toyota All-Track? I feel like they didn't make a lot of them.
That's pretty underrated.
They weren't appreciated, but they're pretty rad.
That's a really good call. They're pretty underrated. Yeah. And it's having driven that.
What, like a Celica All-Track or
the
something?
Celica All-Track, the one that I had back to back with the Delta Integrale Evo,
the Celica's way better.
It's actually a much better car, and it has like the similar driving dynamics, and it's better built, and it's going to be more reliable.
It looked good.
Yeah.
By the way,
that's a good call.
Did you guys know? I know of another engine that blew up. Randy from Bringer Trailers.
Really, his personal car?
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
We don't know a single person that's had one that hasn't had the engine blow.
Yeah, and the good news is they're really easy to rebuild.
Yeah, and super cheap. Right?
All the parts are readily available.
Super cheap.
You can go to AutoZone.
Tons of them. Yeah.
Everything you need.
Long blocks on the shelf.
Yeah.
It'll just cost you like
$30,000.
Yeah.
It's cool. They're really neat.
But yeah, that is a very good answer, Warren.
Thank you.
We agreed. This was the curry. We just didn't think about curry, and curry was going to do the thing.
We made it.
We're having lunch.
We made it.
The other car.
I've never driven a stock one though.
Haven't driven a stock one either.
Yeah, does a stock one exist? That's the question.
Yeah, does a stock one exist?
Because yours was heavily modified.
Yeah,
I mean, pretty modified.
but it was like low key modified.
Yeah, it wasn't too obvious.
But it was modified. I mean,
Yeah, like suspension and brakes, and the engine had been opened up and had different pistons and
yeah,
turbo and
That's
everything.
and,
super modified.
Yeah, but it was a badass little car. It was great.
It was.
It was really fun.
That was a crazy rally we did in that thing.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was a barge.
It was too low. I mean, we knew it going in, but it was still, we managed, like it would have been better if it had a little more ground clearance.
Yeah. Wasn't great at jumping, but we tried.
But we did jump. So are shows underrated?
No, they're pretty well.
probably rated.
Yeah, and they're not.
Probably
I don't
rated
think
where
they would
they should be
surprise you.
rated.
Yeah. How about a Chevy Sprint Turbo?
Probably about where they should be.
I've never driven one, so I don't know.
I've driven Rick's.
Yeah, they're right about there.
Yep.
And everything else I'm thinking of is 80s. But
Dude, after this podcast, we're gonna think of 17 things. Watch.
I don't think so.
Let's keep thinking. I think it is going to be something obscure though that they only made maybe for a little while, and like the 323 is a good example. Like they didn't make a lot of them,
But they are highly rated.
They are.
In that,
They're
like circle
sought
that
out
knows
there.
of them, and it's like not a lot of people know about them.
like 5 years ago I would have said Sentra SER, but now they're very sought after.
Yeah, within a certain group,
They're
still though,
expensive.
right? They're still
They're
kind of
pricey
underrated
for what they are. Yeah,
at least here.
They're almost overrated because they're so expensive for
5 years ago. It was like,
well, did you see the one on BAT that just sold was a 90,000 mile car? It sold for only 11 grand. I was like, it was a really nice car, like super clean, original paint, like no tears in the interior, white over gray. I thought it would go for more, and it was like a well maintained car and everything.
Yep, it's probably what it should be worth.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like materials and all that. It's super basic. It just has a fun engine and good chassis, like good, independent suspension and like the fun stuff. I mean, it's basically a 510, right? It's just front wheel drive, and eventually, like everything else, people get nostalgic, and that's a package that you can get, and people will pay money for it, like 510s, right?
You know what sucks about those? They didn't have like a cool looking Recaro seat. Like they just had a very like basic seat.
They're pretty chunky. I kind of like them though. Like they have big bolsters.
I don't know. The interior doesn't like have that. Like
no, it's very
doesn't
simple.
have that thing. Even like a Golf GTR. Or
the dash is super simple. I mean, it's just like the
it just
flat
doesn't
lines.
have anything like. I don't know. It doesn't have a lot of pizzazz.
Yeah, steering wheel, shifter, and seat are all pretty.
Yeah, like
basic.
if it doesn't have like cool inserts and. I don't know. It doesn't have like stuff.
It's all one
like,
color, right?
Like you want it to be like GTI, like
or CRX
or CRX or whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can't think of anything else right now except for 1999 through 2000 Civic Si. I'm just kidding.
Tegra GSR
S2000.
Yeah,
2000.
Oh yeah.
Automotive Omnivore asks, what rally prep is on the to-do list at Beeline West? Thank you for calling it that. That's the correct.
It's the wrong. Well, I don't understand Warren's thing with this.
Just saying. That's what he said.
Who asked this question?
I know.
John Greco.
How dare you, John Greco?
Well done, John. How do we, John? I hope he's coming out. I think he's aiming to.
He said he commented on Patreon. He said I travel.
That's right.
Yeah.
I know. That's
travels too.
vague, but he's speaking our language.
We owe him a free rally too.
Absolutely, he won it. The
for the things,
the camaraderie. What was it?
Camaro.
So it was
Top car.
It was
no, I know what he's driving.
no, it was organizer's choice.
Organizer's choice.
Yeah.
So,
you were searching for that the whole time?
Yeah, I thought it was something else. Something else.
Get her down.
Yeah, get her done. All right. Well, mine is to get cats installed in the M3 and pass smog.
Oh, so you want to take that?
I'd like
awesome.
to.
That'd be great.
No reason not to. So if I can get it to actually get on the road.
Yeah. Nice.
And put some tires on it and see if it's worth taking. But yeah, how about you guys? Are you bringing the Skyline?
I need to buy a car.
Well,
you need to buy a car? You have this black Porsche.
That's going to get peppered.
No, it'll be, it'll be all right on that, really.
Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Whatever.
Yeah, dude, it's a car.
Yeah, it's just a car.
No, I'm excited for a new purchase. I encourage that.
Yeah, for Lane?
Yeah, I don't know what he's buying, but I like that idea.
He's probably going to buy like a new GTI or something.
Jeez.
I know. I get something super
air conditioned,
boring, dude.
just a BRZ.
Get an underrated 90s car and show up. Be like, this is the answer right here. See?
323.
Yeah, or something that we didn't think of, like an Omni GLHS.
Did you guys see on Hagerty's Instagram, they had a NA Miata Roadster with no windscreen.
The yellow one?
Yellow.
It looks rad, yeah.
And it has an ND engine, but it's lighter and stiffer than an NA.
Wait, what is this?
It's like some company that's like retro modding.
Yeah, it's a rad package. Yeah, and it's got the little like speedster bump in the back. Yeah,
it looks super cool.
It's very cool.
It looked like really nice steering wheel, like super minimal race seat. Just looked like a very cool little package.
That'd be a blast to drive.
Yeah.
I'm staring at my K24 over there on the pallet, and
so it's about,
dude.
Yeah, it should be ready.
I was just about to say that Nick's made a shit ton of progress. He took the cover off of it. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Dude, it's visible now.
I know, it's out in the air.
You can see the engine.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. That's. I mean, it would be a miracle if he got that done by just.
That ship has sailed. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I went through today and ordered a bunch more parts and had a whole conversation with him about it. I had a long call with K Miata, which was rad.
Must have been fun for them.
They had a blast, yeah. Actually, the guy was super stoked on our podcast and requested the checker stickers, the pink ones.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, shit, I'll see if I have any. And I might have some in my garage, but I'll see if we have any. Oh, sweet. Yeah,
home.
They want some, so
sure.
We should hook them up. But so yeah, well, there's a lot of parts that are still in limbo. some that have arrived and are getting shipped on Friday.
Did you ever get an oil pan?
That's getting shipped out on Friday or Monday, he said, because I delayed and I wanted to add some other stuff. I said, if that doesn't arrive, I guess just make it happen.
Yeah, but you told him like, I need it by Tuesday because we got.
We got a rally here.
Real stuff coming.
We got a rally happening.
Yeah, right when I get that, I'm gonna just bolt it right in.
It takes a matter 20 minutes to unbolt the engine, another 30 to put it in.
Yep. And between those things, you're gonna do a manual swap.
And a different car, an RX-7.
Something else.
Just for because
in the E36.
In the E36, dude.
Have you sold that thing yet?
No, I just don't.
Have you tested waters or anything?
Have you put your toes in the water?
I put a pinky toe. I mentioned that car back there is going to be for sale in a post, kinda. You know, that's
that was very vague.
That was very vague. I got like 5 people reached out, but I was like, all right. A lot. But I need to put like a proper ad together and be like, all right, this is the car, this is the stuff. There it is. Please buy it.
A post that says this is for sale.
Yeah, but I should list what the car is. Yeah, I need to make a
test waters
post.
is just a little.
There is a thing, and this is the biggest deterrent, and I'll throw it out there. I'll hopefully figure this out by the time this podcast publishes. But I never received my license plates.
Okay, here we go.
It's registered. I paid for it. I bought it from a dealer. I paid everything.
Yeah,
it's insured. And I never received license plates. I have paper plates on the car still.
Gotta make that appointment and walk on in there.
So it's super lame, dude. Yeah, like I don't want to go do that.
Plebeian stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, I have AAA, so maybe they can help me.
That sounds like a visit.
So I
will say the last time I went to the DMV, it was 20 minutes from start to finish. It wasn't like a big time sink.
That was a very lucky situation.
I don't think it was. I think they've gotten way more shit online. In fact, I saw, what was it that I could do online now?
Last time I went to DMV, it was really quick too.
Yeah.
It was
so
super
I need
fast.
to do that. Yeah, I need to get that sorted. Or not. I mean, I just go with the guy at that point, go with the buyer to the DMV. But I mean, it's registered, it's current and everything. It's just I haven't received the physical plates.
I mean, they literally would just take it out of an envelope and hand you plates.
I know. Yeah. It's just a big effort, going there. And then I'm going to get harassed by some weirdo for sure. There's always weird people there.
There is?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, maybe not. Oh. But yeah, there's that. So yeah, I mean, it looks like Skyline. I have to PPF the front. I also haven't replaced the axle boot and/or axle on the driver's side in the front. So that needs to happen. That's about it.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Lane's gonna buy a car. Art's gonna maybe take the Skyline. Backup is ZHP.
Nah, that'd be lame. It'd be boring. I mean, I could be a support vehicle, I guess.
Yeah. Walter Michael Wood says, no question, but wanted to give a shout out to my wife for buying me my dream car, one of many dream cars, a 1987 911. She listens to the podcast.
Hell yeah.
What the hell?
Rad, dude.
Let's see. Let's read this.
Dude, is her name Emily? Emily. That's like
You're amazing, Emily.
You're setting the bar way too high, first of all.
Dream wife.
What are you going to back this up with? Like a Disney cruise after this? Or
I got one of those.
He DM'd me today. He said, hey, Lane, so like 6 or 7 years ago, I started asking questions on the DWA podcast. One of them was if I should buy a 911 Speedster kit car. And another was that I drove a Porsche and wanted my Cobra to drive like it. And you roasted me saying to sell the Cobra. And then he says, anyways, I recently connected with the owner of this 87 911. And after a month of bothering him, he sold it to me yesterday.
Dang. Well,
so 87 nice. Cab. And then he also said that on his way home, 2 miles from his house, he got rear-ended, just like I did.
Jesus.
And it was just a little bump. So his little bumperette got a little scratched up.
On the first drive?
Just like me.
Oh my God! Well, yours was driving from LA, which is
but it was driving home from buying it. Yeah, same thing.
Same day. Yeah, driving home,
dude.
That sucks, but congrats, and Emily, you're amazing.
It's so awesome.
And Walter M. Wood, I don't know what you did, but you gotta. Now he needs to step up his game.
Yeah, so you have to get like a petting zoo for her birthday.
Yeah,
maybe like a nice charcuterie board.
Oh,
that's it.
Girls really like that stuff,
especially the ones that have integrated knives. Have you seen that? They're magnetized on either side, dude. Pretty sweet.
Sounds pretty awesome.
Too. Yeah.
I like the flour arranged salami.
Oh, okay.
I watched how they do that.
So you're suggesting he learns how to do that?
Yeah.
That's a good call.
And some figs, maybe. I don't know.
Okay,
maybe, or even a little fig jam.
Stinky cheese.
Yeah, for sure that goes without saying. Vlad Hooligan says, it's been a while since you've done one of these. So what would your 2 or 3 car $100,000 garage consist of? Daily / rally / etc. using current BAT and cars and bids prices. He says that his is a recently sold $41,000 Imola red E39 M5 on cars and bids, and the best 996.2 turbo I can get for $55,000. 2 good choices. Those are definitely both on the sporty side of the spectrum.
There's no 0.1 turbo.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
There's just a turbo.
996 turbo.
Yeah.
Maybe X50 package was offered later. I don't know.
It was, but yeah.
So I'm just laughing because back when we started this, think about that question, like how far $100,000 went, and like laughing at a $50,000 M3 at the time, an E30 M3, and now they're worth like
$58,000 for an E30 M3 on Bring a Trailer.
Yeah.
And we said, what 5 cars will we buy instead? And
for that amount.
It was M5, M3.
One list we had M3, M5. There was a 993. There was an Acura NSX in that picture.
I had a rad Mark 1 GTI.
Dude, that was on top of like all these other cars. It was crazy.
I think I had an NSX and a Mark 1 GTI.
And 4 other cars.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. I'd have to look back at it. That's crazy. $100,000.
2 cars.
I would definitely want something cush, comfortable, quiet, smooth, daily, and the sports car. That would be my goal. But man, like you're right. I mean, I love Acura NSXs, but what is a high mileage NSX now? $65,000
at least, yeah.
I mean, you get a high mileage one. Yeah, 60,
70
What's
maybe.
high mileage?
Like 100, 150,000 miles.
Yeah, probably more. Yeah, 70ish. I guess.
That's so.
But you can get the early ones for less. I've seen them go for like
really
60. Yeah.
I don't know, man. They're hard to find. There's no deals, so it's kind of tough. Like you're gonna spend.
That's good. I mean, all right, so then you got 20, 30. So let's say you got 35 left there.
Yeah.
If you do 65,
so then I would get the S-Class, like the newest style S-Class that I can afford, and it would be like the base model of Ollie's style.
You could get those for 35?
Yeah.
I guess those tank, right? Like once they're like they don't, no one wants them.
Yeah.
So that's like a 2018 or what was the first year?
2017, something like that. Yeah. S-Class,
Cool.
NSX. That's something I would go. I haven't looked at values though, so I'm not.
I mean, dude, it's funny because like Art kind of like just did this. He has the Skyline and the ZHP.
Yeah.
And then I just did this. I have the 911 and I have the Polestar. That's my daily.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like 120K that I have, my 2 cars, or more. But
yeah. But you could have done a similar idea.
Yeah.
You could have got a cheaper electric car. Or
I could have done like Ioniq 5 and the Porsche.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, and then you did it. I mean,
yeah, I'm trying to think of something
Skyline
else.
and ZHP.
Yeah, because I was also shopping for E90 M3s. Like that's another car that I was considering, but
yes, you could add that to your Skyline.
Yeah, add that to the Skyline. And F355s are out of the realm. they're all over $100,000 now. Yeah, E39 M5 is a good one. That's a really good.
I was looking at one the other day and I was like, I don't know if I would want that as a daily. I mean, it'd be a great car. It's like a great all around if you only have one car, but I'm not sure if I'd want that as a daily driver.
What bothers you about it as a daily?
Just, I don't know. Just, I feel like maybe it's just because of the type of driving I do, going to the airport, going to Mountain View, driving like long distances and stuff. I want just something really chill. And it is.
Although they're pretty chill.
They're pretty chill.
I feel like, I think they've lost a lot of the luster for me.
Yeah.
It's like, because they're like, at the time they were so powerful and so fast.
Yeah.
And it was all about that. And now they're kind of just an old big car with like a little bit of horsepower, but like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like,
they don't age well. I would say that era, the 5 Series didn't.
I mean, they're built really well though. Like
internally, yeah, but I'm saying like all the trim and just like the plastics used and the soft touch. And
they're early 2000s.
It's
BMW,
just that
like
style.
That but it's not. Yeah, all of those parts are like available, and everybody's been offering alternatives and restoring and all that kind of shit now.
Yeah.
I actually remembered the other thing that I was looking for. So I wanted a B5 RS4 Avant, and you can get those for 70 to 80. Jesus. So they're way more expensive here. But like if I were to import one and just do the Montana thing, you know, you pay that amount. Let's say I get one for 70 to 80, and then what's left over at that point? Like I would use that as my kind of fun dad mobile, like because it's, you know, totally usable car, all-wheel drive, go to the mountains whenever, and it's got the room for the kids. But then what am I left with there? So I was thinking a Miata would be rad, but like what? Yeah. Like an ND, like maybe like an early ND.
You could definitely get that.
Yeah, I don't know if I can get the new motor, like a used new motor one, maybe.
Well, how much do you have?
Like, well, if I got 20 grand, 25 grand, let's say, maybe. Oh, actually, if I can get it up to 30, if I can get one for 70, but then I have to ship it. Yeah. So like, let's say it's 25 G's. Could you get the first of the upgraded engine? I haven't looked.
Maybe.
I think so. I think you can.
Yeah, with some miles on it, just well maintained. Yeah. That would be my mix, I think, as something else. Because as you said, we already did this stuff.
Yeah, I got all depressed the other day because on this street where our shop is, there's a bunch of campers. Yeah. People just, you know, camping while awesome.
Street camping.
And I saw like 4 dirt bags like jacking up a car.
Oh, we talked about this.
I told you that, right?
Yeah.
And it was a B6 or B7 Audi S4. And that's their car, and they have this junky like I'm like, oh man, that's so depressing that those cars are at that, like, I don't know, dude. It's like you can't, like, you're like, oh, so that's a dirtbag car now? Like, that's like a car, like, I don't know. I aspired to own one day when I was like younger, and I remember test driving one with a manual and a V8. And I was like,
I think at this point though, if like it needs a fuel pump and a cat, it's like worthless,
dude. And they also have the timing chain in the back. It's by the firewall. All
of that,
dude. So the other day I saw another one, and I remember the first time I ever saw an Audi A4 B6 Ultra Sport, like not even an S4. I was like, fuck,
dude,
that
they
thing
look
is rad.
so good.
The body kit, the wheels, like the multi-spoke.
The multi-spokes.
And I saw that brand new in Santa Barbara, and I was like, shit, that thing is awesome, you know? Yeah. And I saw one recently.
And the A6 Ultra Sport looked good too.
Yeah, dude, they look clean. And so I saw a B6 A4 Ultra Sport recently in that red. It looks like Imola, right?
Imola,
it's like a dark red.
So it's a package. It's like it looks like it has the full body kit, so it has the side skirts. It has a little spoiler in the back, like the little lip spoiler. It's lowered. It has the multi-spoke wheels that look really good, almost like Alpina style. And then it has, I don't know, a few other little accoutrements.
Some interior trim. I can't remember. But
they just looked like they were lowered a little. They have sport suspension and stuff. It's kind of like it's almost like a ZHP.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
So I would have to show you one, but I hadn't seen one. Fuck, I don't know how long it's been. 20 years now since they came out, and then all of a sudden there was one. I was like, holy shit! Yeah, but that's a cool car. But it's funny, how that happens with these cars. I mean, I see that with S classes all the time, like collapsed suspension.
Yeah, you see them all
like
beat
all
up,
fucking like full like hoarder
some dude's
style,
like sleeping in it and stuff. You're like, oh man,
yeah. Dude. Yeah. Speaking of S class, did you see that Rentec is like basically restoring and selling as new W140 S classes?
Oh, sick.
With a
Rentec?
With a fully pumped out V12, 650 horsepower or something.
Dang.
Probably has a warranty and everything, like subtle though.
So 140 is like the first big slab-sided one.
Yeah.
Speaking of cars that are now owned by bums, like those.
Totally. And
then you have
they were like,
those are so dope with the thick windows and everything.
Exactly. Yeah. It looks so rad. The only bummer is the interior. They went like with a red and black, cross stitched thing, but obviously that's just a check mark on the order sheet, but fully like modernized, restored with the V12 NA, just badass.
Dude, we got to get Rentec out to Radwood.
I know.
Like they need
maybe to Amelia. Who reached out to us? Didn't Rentec reach out to us?
I don't know anyone at Rentec.
I've been to their shop in Florida. I hung out there for like 2 days. Wow. And in just their yard, they had, I mean, this is 12 years ago, but dude, they had like multiple Cosworth, 2.3s, like 190s just sitting out there. They had like 500Es, all dusty and stuff. Like
they made some cool wagons.
So much cool stuff in the parking lot. Yeah.
Their the one thing that's always bothered me is their logo and like their aesthetics on certain pieces are just just not my style. Like I never really aspired to Rentec. They were kind of like kind of lower.
Isn't the
lower
logo
end.
just kind of like the almost like Mercedes, the AMG bars, and then it
It's
just
like
says
an oval with Rentec in it.
Oh,
But
Oval. Huh.
I thought it was just
seen
like
that.
says Rentec, and then it has like
Yeah.
I thought it had like red bars, almost.
oh,
like
I see.
AMG.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, maybe
So
there's
Hartmut,
two
who
different styles.
started Rentec, he was an early AMG guy,
Right.
Pre-merger,
Right.
He was AMG.
Yeah. We had a car at Detroit, Radwood. It was a Dodge Colt, right? Plymouth Colt.
Yeah, the
Dodge
Colt, the twin stick one. Yeah.
twin stick, black, super cool car. Like some modifications and stuff. Very, very nice example. Probably the nicest one around. But it was a car and driver editor's car in Detroit, in the Detroit area, back in period. And he was killed testing a Rentec E-Class, I believe,
Whoa.
at super high speeds on one of the ovals, like
Wow.
200 miles an hour or something. He crashed and died. And then this guy purchased his car at that time. So
Crazy.
I love how Art's like, he does this now. He like brings them out. It's
And
nice,
this was
dude.
a Dodge Colt.
Yeah.
It's not that one from Detroit a couple years ago.
No.
That like goldish
Nope,
one.
it's all black.
That was an Omni.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that was an Omni.
Yeah. and
Remember that one with it had HRE wheels on it? and
That's
stuff?
the one that Dodge gave an award to. That was their choice.
Yeah, exactly. That thing was rad.
very, very rad.
Yeah, this thing is it's basically like Bobby Reed's car, the car that he bought, you know, from I can't remember his name, the guy locally. And so it's that car, but the earlier version. So it's the same, you know, model. It's like the
Very simplistic styled, like
Yeah.
Built off the kind of Volkswagen Golf, right? They were
Yeah.
built off the same platform or something
It's
like
very
that. They
similar to the
share
Golf.
like the engine maybe or something like that.
super similar. This one had really shiny black paint and kind of more modern wheels, unfortunately.
yeah.
might
But it
have-
was really well like preserved otherwise, and the guy was super proud of it. I mean, the paint was ridiculous, dude. It was like on point, almost on par with that Lincoln that we saw. I mean, it was super smooth
Wow.
and like really well
Very,
done.
very nice.
I don't know if the guy owned a shop or what, but that's the only way I would imagine justifying a paint job like that on that thing.
he had the story all laid out, like, because there was a article in Car and Driver saying like we lost our colleague and this is how it happened and stuff. So he had that, and then he had in the article it said he loved driving his Dodge Colt, you know, and that's the car that was sitting there. So
That's crazy.
But going back to that S-Class, it just made me think, I just love that idea of a company like Rentec or whoever taking a 140, going through it completely, making it bulletproof and awesome. I mean, it had, you know, updated stereo and just some other like creature comforts that was cool. But otherwise it looked like just monoblock black S-Class, S600 with like plenty of power. So that's really super cool. And then you see Icon came out with the stacked headlight S-Class that they had just finished. I think it took a ton of work, but full, like, you know, I think they did a new chassis or a new frame and engine and
They do. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's a
So
silver.
is it like an Art Morrison chassis?
I think
or
it
something?
is. Yeah, it's a silver S-Class,
Wow.
and
They do a like a V8 from America.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's like an LS swap or something. But of course, it looks totally stock, you know, and
And it's fully restored.
yeah, the interior is all
And It's like
perfect.
nicer than it ever was.
it looks
kinda.
so nice, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, and it rips.
Huh.
And yeah, just that idea. If I had real crazy money, I would definitely daily drive something like
Yeah,
that.
that'd be
I
awesome.
love like the mechatronic stuff. I don't know what happened to them. Do you remember
Yeah,
them?
yeah.
Like they were awesome too. They were so clean with their installs.
They
and
were
you
doing
get
like
modern.
the 190, or they were doing like 190 SLs with full like.
Yeah,
That's so
AMGs,
rad.
like,
Yeah,
you know,
like-
the 6.3s, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's so rad. Like especially whatever, I don't know, is it a W116? What is like that 6.9 body
Yeah.
style?
Yeah.
Like that engine in there, and like do the suspension up, and I mean just like an Autobahn barger, and
It's like, why wouldn't you
Yeah.
want that if you could
so
get in
cool.
and just
yeah, super modern, like
Cruise.
drivetrain, so it's reliable and probably in modern air suspension too, and all
yeah,
that shit.
totally. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
stuff
I'm
that
down.
makes it super livable, super cool. I drove an interesting car over the weekend. I went to a wedding near Donner Lake.
I saw.
Man, it was the best time ever. And my buddy Dustin, who was getting married.
So that was his car.
Yeah.
What does his wife think of the car?
Oh, she just hates it.
Oh yeah, she does.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
I mean,
part of
she
him.
married him.
Yeah.
Dude, he is like he is that car.
It's part of him.
Like if you meet like Like he's like a version of that car.
So he was greeting people. We had this whole lodge. It was all private. Everyone was staying there. The wedding was there. It was so rad because it wasn't just like we were the only ones staying there and the lodge was like going on. It was literally like we rented the lodge.
It was your house.
Yes. So we walked in and all the hotel keys are on a rack. There's no one working. And then they're like, oh, the bars are on the corner. And it's this rad 1880s
and you guys
ski
are just
lodge.
Do it yourselves?
And it was like the bar is stocked. Go behind the bar and make a drink.
So
you had the spray thing, all the mixers. Like I was on the tap pouring beers, talking to the locals, which were all our friends.
Get tips or what?
Pretty good tips. Yeah. But it was so rad. It had like, big bison head and a moose head and a big fireplace, all stonework. And like, it was amazing. On the Yuba River, killer.
Sounds awesome.
Rainbow Lodge. Look it up. Awesome. I cannot recommend it highly enough. But, and then
your experience will be different though.
Your experience might be different. And then downstairs, there's a whole like man cave or whatever, for lack of a better word, but huge flat screen TV, old leather couches, killer like bourbon. It was just like amazing. I could like live there. But again, we were there, late September. It was 75 degrees. It was perfect. Like, I think it also is really popular in the winter because it's super close to ski resorts and stuff. But really awesome. Anyways, my buddy Dustin, whose wedding it was, is greeting people coming in, like his in-laws.
No shirt on.
He has no shirt on, but a purple velour Korea jacket that he got. It's a long story, but it's got like a crazy dragon on the back, and it just says Korea.
Yep.
And it's 2 sizes too small, velour, like a bomber jacket.
Yeah.
With board shorts, no shoes.
See?
And he's got a 1992 GTI that has been driven across the country multiple times, Colorado and back, Utah and back, Canada and back, all over the U.S., nonstop.
Barely has paint on it anymore.
The paint's almost completely gone.
As is the interior, the dash. I've never seen a dash worse than that.
It's
dash.
been totaled. It's been totaled for like 20 years. The odometer hasn't worked for 20 years.
Dude, but
the heater now doesn't work. We wears slippers in the winter because his feet get so cold.
It's crazy.
And he had the opportunity to get a neighbor or somebody who was giving away a Toyota Avalon, like a pretty decent one. And his dad was getting rid of his old Tundra, but like it was pretty beat, but still, it's a Tundra. And he's like, we don't want more cars. He wasn't going to replace it. He was just like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I mean, people need to see that post, dude. Like what you had mentioned it, like before you went up there, you're like, dude, I got to do something with this car. And
I still want to do more. I want to like do a real like proper, 5-minute video with an interview component,
engine bay, everything.
Do like the Tom style,
exactly, or like the Mighty Max video. Really is what we need to do with Dustin. And
you've been talking about that for years.
I can't get him. Like years. I can't nail him down
because he used to live on Cayuga, right next to my house,
shit.
and it was always like it would sit out there, and you like. I mean, it's always been beat. I don't remember that thing ever being.
It was super nice. He bought it in Santa Barbara with my help from a single owner lady artist in
92
in
GTI.
Montecito or whatever, Hope Ranch area. It was perfect. 92 Montana Green bone stock GTI.
So rad.
And then he bought the Caddy. So he had that car and a 1990 Fleetwood Brom d'Elegance, which is like the two ends of the spectrum, right?
Pretty good 2-car solution.
Super rad 2-car solution, especially, when you want to stay out late and cruise around with your buddies. It was a good time. But then he's just kept it going. And it's like, there's so many stories and insane things that it's just hard to even believe.
Do you know how many miles? I saw it. I mean, it's rolled over, obviously.
It's been broken at 78,000 for like 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's probably got like 400,000 miles or something.
But it keeps going.
Keeps going. And I drove it. So I haven't driven it for years. I fire it up and he's like, dude, it's running real good. And actually, this is a good time to take a video of it because I kind of wiped it down. He's
okay.
It used to be real dusty. And I'm like, dude. And my buddy Tyler and I were just like dying laughing. So I drive it and it drove okay. I haven't driven it in a long, long time. But the brakes are like the spongiest brake pedal ever. And I come back, after a while, he's talking. He's like, so what do you think? I'm like, dude, the brakes. He's like, what do you mean? Just totally used to it. He's like,
just like no master cylinder.
No, it's probably like the brake fluid's all water or something. It hasn't been flushed ever. And just the pedal went so far down before it did anything. He's like, Yeah, what are you talking about? That's the type of car too that you would drive it aggressively one time and everything would break.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he's just so
he drives like a grandma.
He drives a grandma. He's like just kickback seat.
Yeah.
Bob
Still has
Marley
his
in there.
CD pack.
Dude, the
CD
wear
book.
on the seats, like the bolsters look kind of fine, but then there's like the fart holes, or
It's exploded.
Like, it's all the center.
The
It's weird.
metal bar, dude, the side of the lower bolster, the metal bar is sticking all the way through now. And so I got out and like almost ripped my shorts, like, because it's just a mess. Yeah. And he's used to that, right? And I'm like, how, dude? How are you living like this? The mirror completely smashed and gone for years.
So, and this is his only car?
Yeah. Like, his wife has a Ford Ranger with a camper shell, which isn't great.
What does
either.
his house look like?
So he's the one that bought the house in Paradise, and it burned 5 days later.
Shit.
And then his dad, who had just retired from DevCon, just in time to build his son a house. So he was like the first house to rebuild in Paradise, and it's just a single 2-bedroom little.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah, he's saying, what does the inside of it look like?
It's like
how trashed is it?
It's
does it look the same?
Bohemian chic.
Oh, okay. So okay.
His wife is
tapestries.
His wife's like an
rugs.
esthetician / makes soaps and perfumes and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a lot of rock salt candle or light. What are those things called? I don't even know.
Yeah. Gems.
There's gems. There's maybe a dream catcher.
At least there's probably every room has a
tapestries
curtain.
The curtain, the beaded
curtain,
the doorways.
Yeah.
The ceremony was amazing. My buddy Chris was the officiant who's been on this podcast, Chris Brown, and he had 30 pages of notes from interviews. Shit. Whittled it down to 13, and it was amazing.
So he went and got he interviewed all the friends and stuff,
and both of them, and then T-Duck was the DJ.
Oh, sick!
It was super rad, and it was just like an awesome time. Awesome time. By the way, we went to Truckee. I haven't been to Truckee in the summer in a really long time, and it was, like I said, it was the perfect day, like summer just popping. It was going off, it looked like Aspen or something, nice cars, all the restaurants are busy, just very happening place.
Nice. Truckee's cool.
It's cool.
Dude, so this reminds me of a conversation I had recently with a non-car person that is very interested in their cars. And this is this is someone who's obviously in love with this car, will never sell it, will never replace it because they love this experience.
I was asking him what would it take to give up on it? And he's like, I don't know, motor. And I'm like, well, you could probably get a junkyard motor for $500. And David is his mechanic, who we know, would probably do it for $500, and he'd have the car still going.
Yeah. And this is in a different way, but just I really like talking to non-car people about when they're interested in car purchases or trying to find a tool for the job, because the way that they look at it and it is very interesting to me. So recently I was at a playground with my kids, and this is one of her classmates' parents, and the wife was like, can you help my husband find a freaking car for us already? Because he's test drove everything and I'm over it. And I'm like, oh, what are you guys checking out? And he's like, well, I want a smaller CUV, but they're too small, so I kind of want an SUV. And I'm like, well, what have you driven? And he went down the list, dude. He's driven MDX, he's driven Macan and all this, and and I'm like, well, what did you like about these and these other ones? And so we went down the list of trying to figure out what are their needs, and but it's interesting to see how he does care about the way it drives. He cares about the steering feel, but the way he was describing it was different, but he's I want it to be I don't like it when it's really slow and you have to turn it a lot. It's I want it to be responsive, and I'm like, dude, that's interesting. So you want something sporty? I'm like, have you checked a CX-5 out? He's like, yeah, I really like it, but it's too small.
I think that's why people like Teslas a lot. Teslas are meant for these people that don't like cars, basically.
Yeah, but this guy likes cars. He just is indecisive.
Yeah, and
but he
back in the day,
cars. He was not into cars.
Well,
right?
but then the more you talk to him, he likes the sound system, right? And he likes the seats, and then visibility is important, and all those things. But but I see what you mean. It's the Tesla package. It's you got the torque,
you got quick steering. It's fast. It's peppy.
Apps, integrated
tons
easily
of apps.
with your phone.
It has all this stuff. It checks all the boxes for a non-car person.
Yeah, and materials
are
less
I
relevant.
like a zippy car that turns really fast,
super zippy,
and
it's got space.
They also say people will say, "Oh, Teslas handle the best." They don't handle that great. They just are really They're really quick steering rack,
and they also low center of gravity too.
Center of gravity.
But it's one of those things they feel they're just they turn really like quick because the steering ratio, and they think that means it handles really well.
How does the Tesla compare to the Polestar for you? Like if you were to drive it over a 17 or something?
So it's exactly that. It just doesn't, I don't think it has the ultimate grip or anything, but it's way more like, have you driven like a modern Ferrari or something? Like the way the steering is, it's like it's just cool. Like, it's like on its toes. It's almost scary how like quick the steering is. Like these people driving them down like a straight highway, it feels sketchy because you barely turn it and it wants to go in the other way.
But I think it's because of, it's like it's the same thing with like throttle input, you know. It's like these people don't want to put a lot of effort into it, right? That's why they want it to be very responsive, because they want to move it this much and change lanes, right? Versus like they're not steering very heavily, right?
And it's also the reason why like a lot of like in the 80s, 90s, a lot of these American cars and a lot of American cars, if you got in them, they felt kind of almost fast off the line. Do you remember that? And then you would full throttle and there'd be nothing more than what you had, like with barely any throttle.
Right.
And it would be like, oh, it's peppy. You know, it feels fast. But it's just like basically because they're just giving it barely throttle and it feels quick, right?
Yeah, it's that torque down low. It's
they don't
like
want to have to they're not going to give it all the gas, you know?
Yeah, give it the beans. Yeah. So I feel like it's interesting to see also just like, I like talking about like, he was like so interested in like the practicality element too, and it's like it's so interesting to me like as a tool, right? Like this is a straight up tool. It's like
I know. Well, also it depends on what his car history is, but if he's coming from like say a Land Cruiser or something, it's very hard to find a modern car that checks all those boxes, and that's Dustin's problem, is that he really doesn't trust these newfangled cars. He thinks that there's going to be some issue that he's got to deal with. And I go, but yeah, you're 43. Like, don't you want a heater or good AC? You live in paradise. It's 1,000,000 degrees all the time. Like really nice heater, or a really nice air conditioning, really nice heater, good sound system, quiet, smooth. Like those are good things, you know? He's like, yeah, but you know, I'm just kind of used to this, like window down, one hand on the steering wheel,
one joint or the other.
No shirt on.
No shirt on. Maybe a neon orange beanie. And gonna play disc golf.
Slouchy though, right? Kind of like hanging off the back. Maybe.
No, he's pretty tight. Yeah.
Oh, so he's more hipster style.
Yeah.
He's like
but it was funny. He got super cleaned up, like haircut and shaved and everything for his wedding, and we were just like in disbelief. Like,
you're like,
haven't
who is
seen
that
him
guy?
like that in so long. And he was like a different dude. So who knows? Maybe getting married will be the impetus for
maybe he'll
change.
Yeah.
But before he gets rid of it or something happens, we have to do like a legit, you know, sit down for an afternoon and interview him and have him on the podcast or something.
Paradise.
Because it is very interesting. Like he loves the GTI. Like it's his favorite thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, like this, it drives me insane.
He's had it for 20 years?
Yeah. The sun visor holder clips are gone and missing. It's like a $3 part.
Yeah, and so it's just flopping down.
They just kind of sit like this the whole time.
Yeah.
And we're talking like a $3 part and like one screw, and those are fixed.
Yeah.
Doesn't even consider looking. Like doesn't even enter his mind of like, I should fix that.
Yeah.
It's like, this is fine.
Do you think he would appreciate if the car was restored? Like, I'm just thinking like an overhauling thing.
Love it.
Like if the car was gone.
Oh yeah.
He would be super devastated. It was stolen, and then like it shows up. Well, I mean, you know, overhauling,
overhauling stuff.
and then it shows up.
No,
brand new.
for sure. I just think of the idea of saying like, dude, sorry, it got stolen. You'd be like, what?
Dude, West Oakland. I don't know, man.
They'd be like, so they're not going to offer you any money because they don't. They think the car was just like
they're going to want you to pay a little.
Yeah, they're like, dude, we've been undercharging.
The cops had to come to your house and like that costs money for them.
$65, however you want to pay.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, like, because sometimes it's a lifestyle thing, right? Some people are kind of used to the grunge and like the tatteredness, and it's an image thing, right? Like, I don't give a shit.
It's
like,
just gone so far, you know. It's like, you know, he got hit, and then it got someone kicked the door, and then like this and then it's just like he didn't have the money to basically paint it and get it all restored, and it just slowly went further and further.
Dude, overhauling.
And he would love it, but the car is too far gone for overhauling.
I don't think it is.
Dude, no, it is. It is.
No, nothing's too far gone.
They would probably they would swap. They would get you a different car.
It has the rust around the windows and stuff.
I wouldn't be surprised the way these shows work. They would just get another car that's and then they would just they
just paint it green.
He doesn't know what a VIN is. I bet you.
No. He would. But it'd be like the little touches, like the dressage sticker on the back.
You'll transfer the whole glass, dude.
Yeah. The hieroglyphics. Hip hop sticker in the corner. You cannot replicate that. That is
indistinguishable.
That is a 20-year sticker that has been on there for 20 years. And all of that. The antenna, that
antenna.
He's still rocking CDs. He's got his CD booklet, and the faceplate won't stay up.
Change. He doesn't trust digital music.
No.
What if
dude, that could break. That could break his phone.
Oh, by the way, he has a podcast. Listeners, please check it out if you're into baseball. It's called Mona Lisa Baseball.
Wait, he does?
Yes. He's a co-host of Mona Lisa Baseball. It is actually a really good listen, especially if you know Dustin. It's with T-Duck's brother, Russ.
Dude, I need to download this thing.
Mona Lisa Baseball. Check it out.
iTunes or what?
On iTunes.
Is it about baseball?
Starring Anonymous and Anonymous, yes. It's Dustin's incredulous look at how the rules of baseball have changed for the worse and what he wants to do about it. It's very in-depth.
And this goes on for multiple episodes?
2 seasons.
Well, I don't even understand.
Seasons.
On season 2.
What does he hate? Oh God, I gotta listen.
Have you watched baseball lately, Lane?
Yeah, I have. It's a different game.
You've watched it?
Yes.
It's a different game.
You know the action clock, they call it?
Yeah,
They're going to implement that next year?
Yeah.
And they took away the shift?
No, the shift.
Wait, they did?
You cannot do it.
Damn,
Shut
CBT.
up. I didn't know that.
A bunch of stuff.
They took away the shift. Why?
You can only throw to a runner on first twice.
Wait,
if you do it a third time and you don't get him, it's a balk.
Oh, I didn't know this.
They're changing it.
Why?
All. Time.
Oh, because they wanted to speed up because they wanted to be more entertaining.
Yep. Anyways, Mona Lisa Baseball.
I love the slowness.
Listen to the last episode.
I love the slowness of baseball.
I know. Well, that's what they're ruining. So
ticking clocks.
Listen to that episode on your way to work tomorrow.
Okay.
Tell me what you think.
Okay.
He'll be stoked to hear it.
Mona Lisa Baseball. I'll check it out. I'll know all the rules. The bulk. It's a bulk.
You don't know.
Don't listen to him.
You should not listen to the podcast.
You're going to come back with some
just don't
list of notes.
Don't listen to it, dude.
I would be stoked to hear your take on it. It'd be totally.
I can't believe it's a balk. If like that.
I don't know what that means, but it's crazy to hear that there's.
A balk is when you basically fake a pitch as a pitcher.
Yeah, then the runner just gets to advance.
All runners get to advance. Yeah. So if you have bases loaded, it advances the runner to score. And a balk can be like looking at the plate, like home plate, in a manner that is like
intention to throw to the.
You're faking out the other team.
That's my take on that.
Yeah.
But okay, interesting. I mean, no, I'm just going back to the dude though. Yeah, it's interesting to see someone like that in that situation where like he's fine as is, no worries, happy. But if it was pristine, he would also be happy.
He would love it, but I think it would be like pristine is too good.
Yeah,
because it would be too nice for him to appreciate and enjoy. He would be too worried, or like it would just get dirty. And
what if you just leave the torn driver's seat? You know, that's like his cozy butt spot.
That's the kind of stuff I would like to upgrade. I mean, if I just if I won the lottery or whatever, I would just buy him like a new Tacoma or something and just be like, here you go, like you're good. But I think he does like it. He does like the nimble, fun to drive aspect of it. And then his wife said their like neighbor was selling a car and she's like, I love it. Can we please get it? And he's like, okay. 1991? No, it was like a 92 Isuzu Amigo.
Whoa.
2-door convertible.
Wait, who bought this?
Dustin bought it with his wife, Sam. And, it's a manual, but it's a 2-wheel drive. And so then the clutch went out. Throwout bearing was going out when I saw him last. And I was like, yeah, you need a clutch. And then his clutch, it basically died like the Vanagon. And he went to a shop in Paradise and they were like, there's only one Isuzu dealer left in the U.S. They're in Kansas City. They don't have any parts. Like, good luck. You got to get the parts. It's just going to sit here. And so he's basically calling me and he's not tech savvy at all. And he's like, well, what do I do? Like, I'm like, well, now you're an Isuzu guy. Like, if you want this car to succeed, you got to be the guy that's like, which clutch is it? Is it a Borg-Warner transmission? Yes. You need the clutch fork with the bearing. You also need the flywheel machine. They don't make flywheels anymore. Like all this stuff. And the mechanic's telling him like, this is the worst flywheel I've ever seen. I don't know who drove this car. And I'm like, dude, you can just get it machined and it'll be fine. Like, whatever. Anyway, so he's hunting for parts for this car. I'm like, this is harder than, it's like my Mighty Max. You're back to like, you might as well have a Ferrari, or like you'd be better off if you had a Ferrari.
Way better off. Dude, at least there's people spending money.
There was one clutch
they want to build them.
One clutch fork on eBay in Croatia. Oh no, it was in Cyprus. Cyprus. And I was like, dude, there's your guy, Cyprus.
No way.
And it said $8 shipping. I'm like, well, that'll never get here. It's going to be on like a hot air balloon or something.
Dude,
like
I didn't know they were that gnarly. Like, I guess they're just so unique, right? There's like,
I just think that there's not many left. All the junkyards that have them crushed them or used up all the parts.
They're so cool looking.
They're so cool. It's such a rad little, like, if it was 4-wheel drive, I'm like, that's definitely a car you want to keep going. And he was asking me like values and stuff. I'm like, it has 80,000 miles, but it's a 2-wheel drive Amigo. Like, it's worth $3,000.
It's the convertible one, right?
Yeah.
Like the little,
it's white. It's nice. Like, it was all stock and
cool,
stuff.
Dude. They have good graphics
worth
and everything.
more than that to the right person. Yeah, dude. There was
I think it is, but he's not the person to sell it to the right person. You know what I mean? Like,
he doesn't even know how to use the internet.
Pretty much.
I mean, he has a podcast though. Russ does it though, right? Yeah. Okay.
So initially, I tried to help him.
He's like, dude, I'm making this podcast, but no one hears it. I don't understand. Like, how do people hear it?
How do people hear it?
He was asking me about it too, like how to do it, and he ended up like someone just made a website and hosted the files that they could go on MonaLisaBaseball.com, press play, but if you press pause or whatever, it went back to the beginning. So then no one listened and stuff, and then Russ took over. So
I can't wait to listen to this podcast.
I know. Check it out, folks. Give it
awesome,
rate and review Mona Lisa Baseball and Driving While Awesome if you get a chance.
Yeah, people need to rate and review our podcast. We haven't
if you've listened for a while and you haven't ever done it, just do it.
Or if you've done it before, you can probably do it again.
No.
If it's long enough ago or something, you probably have different credentials or something.
Just tell your wife to do it.
It's been a while,
Yeah, hook us up.
Yeah.
Dude.
Is that time?
Go for it.
I was gonna say like that whole like car person. My mom's kind of like that. Like every time she buys a car, it's very like she wants a car that handles well. You know, she doesn't know what she wants, but she knows she likes the way a car feels. So like she had like Audi A4s forever, and then she bought like a Volvo S60, and she's like, doesn't handle like my Audis did.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, they're kind of like a little, you know.
Yeah.
And then I made her get like PS4 S's or something. I think it was, or Super Sports. And she's like, oh, it's way better now. Basically, like she could feel the difference. You know, she was like, oh, it feels way more like responsive.
I wonder if you did it without telling her if she would know.
I don't know.
Like a
but
placebo.
she was complaining about it to me.
Yeah.
That it was like horrible. And I'm like, yeah, well, you have like these. She had really bad all seasons, you know.
Yeah.
And she did. I don't know, because she does live in the mountains, drives over like
she should have great tires for that thing.
That's great. Yeah,
but same kind of deal, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know a lot of like buddies' wives who are peripherally involved in the car stuff, and they definitely have their opinions about the car they want and how they drive and all that stuff. And it's interesting because everyone has their own set of parameters,
Totally, yeah. I just showed Warren this Isuzu Amigo that popped up on my feed the other day, and it looks so freaking cool, dude. Look at those wheels,
those are awesome.
It's such a cool looking thing. It's
and they have those fender flares.
And this one's got like really sick, like I don't even know what kind of wheels those are.
But that one has like a white, the back, the rear glass thing is white as well. The rear hardtop, yeah.
Yeah, so basically you need to turn into Joe Isuzu to keep that thing going. And stockpile. I was telling Dustin, I'm like, essentially, if you loved this car, you would probably have a parts car.
Yeah, exactly.
Off in the corner of your property.
That's what I was going to say. Just buy another Isuzu.
Exactly. And then,
I don't know,
he's just not that guy, though.
Did you try to find these parts, by the way? Like, did you actually search?
I did, but I'm actually questioning. So I did all the search. I sent him some links, and I'm like, this is what you should buy, and all this stuff. And then he sent me something back. He's like, well, actually, the clutch fork looks like this. And I'm like, dude, that's not the Borg Warner one. So now I'm questioning the mechanic. Like
that's what I would question, because he's way up there in the mountains and like just some random like.
And I really do believe that he doesn't want to work on it. He's like, and I told Dustin, I'm like, for this car, you would need a JDM specialist that's either familiar with Isuzu or Mitsubishi or those obscure Japanese cars, and can like make things work. You can't just be like, I'm going to call the only dealer remaining, and if they don't have it and my search is over, like that's not how this works. So we'll see. He did go to a machine shop, and they were able to machine the flywheel, no problem, like I thought. And then he said that there was a machine shop down the road that could replace the bearing in the clutch fork and weld it. It needed some repair. It was like just heat damage or something. So maybe it'll be okay. And the clutch parts aren't a problem. Like the disc and the clutch kit is available. Okay. It was like the hardware.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But my point is, we've seen what happened to the GTI. That's a car that you can get parts for pretty easily. The Isuzu is not that, and he lives in a place that's pretty remote. And it's tough. Even if you had an Isuzu shop that likes those cars, just finding certain parts is getting tricky.
I mean, he has to get on those forums, dude.
That's what I told him. Yeah. I'm like, you're basically a Isuzu guy now.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah, he has to become that dude.
But he's not that guy.
Joey Isuzu.
That'd be did you have anything else to add, Lane? I thought you were going to say something.
I'm good.
The rally registration should be open soon, December 2nd through the 4th. You guys should come, hang out.
I'll come.
Good time. You should come.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing.
We're doing an F1 viewing party this weekend at Beeline Motor Club.
Sunday. Warren can't make it. Or won't be there.
This
podcast will come out 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
And then I think we should do a morning motors. What do you think about a Halloween morning motors? The Sunday 30th.
That would work.
You guys around?
Yeah. That
Sunday
would work.
the 30th. Monday's Halloween, I believe.
Monday would be the day after, would be the 31st. That wouldn't
But I'm
make
pretty
sense.
sure I have my dates right. Like the Sunday is the 30th.
I think maybe. Yeah. I'm going to Vegas on the 1st.
Ooh.
SEMA.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be the saddest
Get
thing.
my SEMA on.
That'll be the saddest thing.
I know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It might be good.
Ford's gone.
Might be good. Maybe there's it's all mellow. No one's there anymore.
Oh, it'll be all the good ones.
The Hoonigan dudes pulled out of that yard out front too.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
I don't have a problem with that. But
I think you're going to be missing it.
Just that whole area. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, I don't know.
There's still Ford out front, I think.
No, I don't know if Ford is going to even be there.
I thought they're still going to do Ford out front.
Maybe Ford out front. But
Maybe,
that's
I don't
what
know.
is the drifting Mustangs is what you're interested in?
I'm not interested in any of it. I'm just saying.
Maybe you'll see George Wallace.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could be interesting. I mean, it's some people will be there. You'll maybe meet up with some people.
All the best people. All the best people. Maybe like a guy in a bowling shirt that's like has his shop name and he's carrying like all the swag.
Oh, I'll look for that guy.
That guy's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe Crocs.
How about a guy on a rascal?
Oh, please.
Oh,
Yeah.
at least
Boy,
a couple
Ali
of
will
those
be in a
guys.
rascal.
Yeah. he'll
Can
be on a
you
rascal.
take pictures of people wearing Crocs for me?
Oh, that's a good call.
I want to see
dude.
flaming Crocs. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Flaming Crocs with the flaming
.com.
I'm down.
flaming bowling shirt.
I'll do it.
Flamingcrocs.com.
Flamingcrotch.com.
Flamingcrotch.com. All right. Recently, the General Motors has kind of gotten their sales capacity back up and running. So, as we all know, nothing was selling, hard to make cars. There was
No more
supply
chip
chain.
shortage?
No more chip shortage, I guess. And this isn't related to SUVs and trucks. I think in 2021, they went full SUVs and trucks instead of focusing on their cars.
Mm-hmm.
Now they've ramped up production on cars. What is their best-selling car in quarter two? They sold 32,000 of these cars. That's a lot.
I don't even know Chevy makes a car.
Isn't that a good? That's what I thought you would say.
What car does Chevy even make?
By the way,
Do
32,000
they make
in
a
one
Cobalt or something?
quarter. I don't think they've been a Cobalt since 2005.
I'm trying to think of like what we saw in Detroit, right? Because
A
like we noticed
Spark?
right away
Nope,
how many
not the
like
Spark.
domestic cars.
Oh, is it
are
a
in there.
Bolt?
Nope.
They make a Bolt.
Yeah, they make 32,000 of this car.
Is it a GM product or a Chevy product?
It is a Chevy.
Do they make a Malibu?
Yeah, ding 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 ding.
People buy Malibus.
32
It's all.
32,000. It's
It
got
has
to
to be
fleets.
the rental fleets because
gotta
the
be
rental
fleets.
fleets like sold all their cars off and now they have to buy them again.
It says it's unclear how many fleet sales accounted for this figure, but 32,487 in one quarter Malibus.
So is that Malibu what I had in Washington?
Yeah, it looks like an Impala or
So
Malibu.
dude, that Malibu, it was a 2022.
What you gonna do?
Depressing car to drive. Like I'm talking like I I couldn't imagine
Yeah,
that
you
being
needed-
your car.
Why didn't you pick a Kia Soul?
Okay, I wish I did. Also, I adjust the steering wheel, lock it. I could like go like this, and I could move it up and down 2.5 inches.
That's good. That's comfort right there.
Dude,
Smoothness.
That's like Ayrton Senna if you watch that video,
dude. And I was just
steering
like
column.
depressed driving it around. I'm like, this is how those 32,000 people.
And you are like a Malibu customer. Like,
Oh, straight up.
straight up middle America. Dude.
Malibu. Tell me what you're gonna do.
You know, and this is that my understanding of like that car buyer is
Yeah.
like the opposite of anyone who's analytical about anything. It's like it's pure necessity, right?
They
It's like,
are not even.
it's
They're
like-
not even like thinking about responsiveness or
No,
anything.
no,
They're
no.
just
It's
like,
just
will
like,
it get you to the store?
does it have 4 doors? I need to put the kids.
Is
in
it
the back.
American?
Is it American? Does it maybe gas mileage is a thing?
In quarter two of last year, they sold 4,800. This year, they sold 32,000.
32,000.
563% gain.
Dude, it must have been fleet sales. Like they
vehicle.
must have ramped up and
Something. Chevy Camaro, they sold 5,400, and Corvette up 8% with 8,630 units
that's
sold.
a lot in
dude.
one quarter.
C8s, like that's a
Popular.
lot. Yeah.
Did you guys see all the Z06 stuff popping up?
Yeah, it does not sound good.
They're not. I mean, everything that I saw was like not fully
I
like
saw
redline.
full throttle down the straightaway.
Really?
Matt Ferris posted it.
Was it? That's such an insight.
There
joke.
was a Lamborghini Huracan.
Well, but it didn't sound like full throttle though, and it didn't sound
He
like
was
he
coming out of
redlined
that
it.
turn though. Like
'Cause I
he
saw
went
it.
through 2 gears.
Yeah, it
I
didn't,
think
it
he
didn't
did.
sound like redline. Because-
Yeah, didn't sound good
because it didn't sound like redline. It sounded lower, right?
I don't
it was,
know,
I don't
though.
know. Yeah,
But
I was
it
not
didn't sound
impressed.
like anything.
I agree. I was not impressed, and I thought he was short shifting it. That was my.
And
my
then
only
the
guess.
startup videos, it doesn't sound like it doesn't sound. It's just nothing. It's like
Yeah, and then why do people say cold start and rev? It's like no,
I
don't
know,
do that.
Don't do
Like-
that. Yeah, don't do that, guys.
Yeah.
Speaking of supply chain, this is the second trivia question. Ford trucks have been seen getting stacked and pushed to the side while they're waiting for parts. So they have like parking lots you can see from space full of
Oh, I
Ford
saw
trucks.
that. I saw that. It's
they-
like, it looks like Dieselgate.
yeah, like they cannot complete the cars to sell them,
Yeah.
so they're just parking them. The latest issue is related to what part? A simple part that is now
It's like an axle or something.
cannot get them. Nope, more simple, but also important.
brake,
Taillight?
brake pads,
Closer with taillight, not brake pads.
clusters.
Even
Cluster
more
lights.
simple.
Oh, the back latch for the tailgate.
The blue oval for the front grille. They cannot get them,
Get out of here.
and they are unable to sell the trucks.
Well, you know when
They
I
cannot
bought.
get them.
You know when I bought my
Ford.
When I bought my
Is that a
Polestar.
supplier thing? Like, wouldn't they just?
Do you make them in house? I thought.
Yeah.
You know, but-
Dude, when I bought my Polestar, it came with a note in the glove box. They didn't even tell me this. That said, it was basically like, you don't have the kick thing to open your rear. Like
It has that
hatch.
feature.
But mine doesn't. It doesn't. They're like, the supply chain issue. So when you like in the future, you'll be able to have it installed at your dealer for free.
when it becomes available.
When?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been to a dealer, but like at one point,
Call
I'm
'em
gonna
up.
have that.
You got to call them up.
Yeah.
Dude.
Maybe it'll be actually cooler
real.
without it. It's like, oh yeah, this was a
Yeah,
special.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I'll
where
just
that
get
came
it
up,
and
yeah.
won't put it on, and
Yeah.
it'll be like that. Like, oh, it's still. On
Oh,
the
dude,
box.
you'll have that software in a box, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
like in the
exactly.
trunk,
Yeah, yeah.
dude.
That
So
sensor.
yeah. So came up actually. Didn't we talk about it on the show a while back? Because like they were delivering 911s,
Yes.
with like powered passenger seats or vice versa with no like
No, you could go into the dealer. They would install the relay that allowed you to adjust the seat
Yeah.
once, take the relay out because they only had one for the whole dealership. And then you would have to come back and return when they had the relays.
Yeah.
So you would go get fitted, and then you could not adjust your seat in your brand new 911 until the parts came in to allow for that.
Pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet.
But
Pretty sweet.
there was also I heard something like where like certain features were manual, like you would get like a manual
Yeah.
passenger seat
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they
yeah.
didn't have enough to do both power seats or something like
I
that.
doubt they even make a manual seat.
Yeah,
that
something
car.
like
Who's
that.
that?
911 Porsche.
They do,
They do.
dude. Porsche's all about the add-on.
I had just thought that.
Or I wouldn't be surprised if it's
gone.
even less. Right? Like our Cayenne has like it's like the middle one. Like there's like because there's like 3 different seat packages,
Yeah.
and there's like a 12-way, an 18-way, and a 24-way,
Yeah,
and we
yeah,
have
yeah.
like the 18 way or something, it's just like shit like that, right? So it's like if you got the 24, they only have the 18, so you'll go back in and get it done or whatever. They'll install the other seats.
Yeah, I don't know. And also this blue oval, grill badge thing is affecting their best-selling car, the truck, F-150.
Dude, I mean, you would think that they would just find a fucking different supplier, right? Like, I mean,
that's the whole thing. It's like, I don't know. Maybe they've got this one supplier and the type of plastic is MIA or...
That is insane.
I know. To not be able to sell it, which makes sense. Like, what else would you do? That's the thing. Is like,
there's plenty of bow ties.
Or you do one of those, like an aftermarket grill or something, and just
billet. Dude, billet grill package upgrade.
Billet proof.
Yeah.
All right, that's podcast.
Bye.
See you next time.
Later.
Bye-bye.